Hey there guys, Julian McBain here, and if you're watching this, then you've noticed that I am doing something just a little bit different this time around. I want to welcome you to my first webinar series, and this webinar series is all around goal setting. You may have recently watched my McBain moment where I talked about the 5 elements of goal setting, and as I was doing that particular episode, I felt that I hadn't had enough time to really dig deep into the elements of goal setting. And so I wanted to take the opportunity to talk to you about it and get deeper into the 5 elements. And so I'm creating this web series of 5 mini webinars for you to watch. They're all going to be posted here on McBain Manor, and I'm going to have a link to each subsequent episode below the video. And I'm going to just go through each element one by one. I'm also going to give you all the source material for where I get my information. Excuse me. Because I want you to know where I'm getting this. I'm not just popping this off at the top of my head. I gathered this information from various sources. I rolled it around in my brain some and came up with what I feel is the distilled essence of the whole thing. And so, is it perfect? Absolutely not. But what I want you to do is take what information I give you, read the source material. And the links will be down below the video on the webpage. Read the source material. If you've already read the source material, awesome. And come up with your own take on how this works. Absorb everything, take what you can and use it, and dump the rest. That's the entire purpose behind me doing this. So without further ado, I am going to get started and talking about the first element, which is when you choose a goal, choose something specific, not abstract. And out of all 5 elements, this is probably the hardest thing to do. Because when we think of goals, we actually more think of dreams. Where do I want to be in 10 years? What can I do to make my life better? It's usually very amorphous. We don't have a lot of concrete steps down. We don't have any sort of plan in place. The problem is what we do is we let that stay amorphous and continue to be amorphous, and we never come up with a firm endpoint. And without a firm endpoint, we have no motivation to go after it. So when you're goal setting, you need to come up with something very specific. What is your specific endpoint? Is it you want to lose 20 pounds? You want to make more sales you want to make 10 extra sales a week. So not I want to make more sales. I want to make 10 extra sales a week. Not I want to lose weight. I want to lose 20 pounds. Not I want to become better at fencing. I want to be able to defeat this person. And yes, that actually does work. When I started in the Black Tiger program, I was facing as my mentor. My mentor was someone I had never been able to beat ever. I still have trouble beating him, although I haven't fenced him in several years, which means I probably have even more trouble beating him. As he taught me the system, and this is where my philosophy comes from too, because this is the Black Tiger philosophy. We wear black because we absorb everything, use the pieces that work for us, and let the others just fade away. But I set a goal. By the time I graduated from the program, I wanted to beat him. And by the time I was ready to test, I did. And I did so fair and square. This wasn't in a training session. This was in was it in a tournament? It was in a melee. I beat him in a melee. We happened to be one-on-one at the time, but there were other people fighting around us and people could interrupt, which means there's even more distractions than in a tournament for both of us. So pick something very specific. And when you pick that something specific, make sure that you formulate it in a way that you know you are going to go after it. Because there's no point in goal setting if you're not actually going to take the time to go after the goal. At that point, it's a platitude. It's like a New Year's resolution. Yeah, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week. I pay for the gym subscription. I'm not going. $15 comes out of my account every month. Now, I don't personally have a gym subscription. I get my exercise when I fence. But a lot of people on New Year's get gym subscriptions. That's the best time of year to be a gym, because you're getting all kinds of money that people are paying you for nothing. So take some time and think about what you want out of life. You can begin abstract. It's okay to begin abstract. And write it down in a notebook, like abstract. Brainstorm. Brainstorm what your ultimate goal is. Call it a 5-year goal. And then work backward. Okay, let's break that 5-year goal down into what needs to happen in order for me to achieve goal number 5 year. Right? And then, okay, take one element. What has to happen first? That becomes goal number 1. What has to happen to make part 1 of ultimate goal happen? And if you have to, break that down into its element parts. And eventually you get to the point where you have, okay, I know I can accomplish this element. Write it down. Have that specific goal in mind. And I know that writing it down is another one of the elements, and I'm going to get into why writing it down is so important, but I'm not going to do that right here. Write it down and just be prepared to go after it with intense focus. Because without focus, you're not going to get anywhere. And part of that focus is having the motivation to get there. So you have to be able to discipline yourself and motivate yourself to go after that goal, which means every day, read the goal out loud. In fact, Napoleon Hill, in his chapter on desire, says do it twice. Once when you wake up and once before bed. And that's what I do. I have a goal. In fact, it's in this notebook. And I don't have the notebook open because I've got all kinds of notes in here from all of my different seminars. All my McBain moments, my vlogs, a lot of my Entropia Universe videos, notes are all in here. I write them all down, or the majority of them down. I keep this beside me at work. It's on my desk. It's open usually to a blank page. And I keep a pen. This pen only touches this notebook. I have a specific pen for the notebook because that puts me in the right frame of mind to focus on what I'm doing for that moment in time. So, be specific. Formulate the goal in your mind. If it's too abstract, say, okay, I want to lose weight. How much weight do I want to lose? Okay, I'd like to lose 20 pounds. Better. And we'll get into the other elements around making that goal become a plan and how to execute that plan in a way that you will either achieve it or understand why you didn't and be able to refocus and do it better next time. Because in the end, all goal setting is coming up with a dream and setting a time limit for it. And then coming up with a plan of action to achieve that goal. I said in one of my McBain moments, and this also comes from Napoleon Hill. I love Napoleon Hill. He's a great inspiration. He's among probably my top 5 most influential people in my life that I haven't actually met. In fact, I think Napoleon Hill is long dead now. So what he said was, knowledge is not power. Knowledge with a plan of action behind it is power. Well, a goal is just a dream until there's a plan of action to go achieve it. So when you have a specific goal, you can now create a plan of action to achieve that goal. And each step in that plan of action becomes a sub-goal. And that's why it's so important that it's specific. Because you can't come up with sub-goals if you don't have an endpoint. And if the endpoint's abstract, there's absolutely no motivation to go after it. So take the time, and if you have to, look yourself in the mirror and have a conversation with yourself. Say, what is it that I want now? What is it I want out of life? What is it that I want immediately or within X time frame? We're going to get into time frames in a little bit. I think that's episode 4. What is it that I need or want within a certain time frame, and what am I going to have to do in order to accomplish that goal? And break it down. Write it all in a notebook. Have a special notebook for it. Just like I have a special notebook, have a special notebook for it. It has nothing but your goals and your plans of action to accomplish those goals. Because if you have that, you've already started down the path of becoming the best you can be. Because that's what this is all about. We can't improve if we don't have a set of goals and plans of action to back those goals up and accomplish those goals. I've said a couple times, I keep my goals on my door. That's it right there. I'm pointing at it. It's probably 10 feet behind me, but I'm pointing at it on my screen. That's my forefinger. Don't think I'm flipping you off. Those are my 9 goals. And so for those that I created a plan of action for, 3 of them are already accomplished. 3 of them are accomplished, and to be honest, one of them, the plan of action, was made for me, because I have a really hard time telling someone like one of the top fencers no, especially when he says, I'm going to give you your test and give you the opportunity to earn your black scarf. I wasn't going to turn that down. That plan of action was made for me, and I was okay with that. Plans of action, specific goals, endpoints. I want to thank you for attending the first of this 5-part series. I hope that you enjoyed it. Part 2, there will be a link down below to it. For now, I'm going to keep it like this. I might turn this into an email series at some point. If I do, I'll let you know. Or it will have a separate set of pages so that you get them over the course of time. I want to thank you for joining me and on this journey, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.